passed out. I don't know. We're trying to find some life. A few males and females have been shot. Upon that, there's like 500 people.
The story of Emma's survival begins on what seemed like an ordinary spring afternoon in 2009, but would soon become an extraordinary testament to human resilience. Walking home from a local coffee shop in her quiet suburban neighborhood, Emma had no reason to suspect the horror that awaited her. In a matter of seconds, a stranger appeared, forcibly grabbed her and thrust her into a vehicle before she could call for help. This sudden act of violence would set in motion one of the most remarkable survival stories ever documented. The abductor drove Emma miles away from civilization to an isolated location. When she regained consciousness, she found herself in what many consider the ultimate nightmare, buried alive in a shallow grave. The weight of the earth pressed against her body from all sides, creating an overwhelming sense of claustrophobia. The air was thick and stale, the walls of her earthen prison damp and confining, and the darkness was absolute. The psychological terror of such a situation would be enough to break most people, but Emma's response would prove extraordinary. In this moment of absolute terror, Emma made a crucial decision that would ultimately save her life. Instead of surrendering to paralyzing fear, she forced herself to remain calm and assess her situation. Despite her hands being bound with rope and her movement severely restricted, she refused to accept death as her fate. This remarkable clarity of mind in the face of extreme danger became her first step towards survival, demonstrating an exceptional level of psychological fortitude. What followed was an extraordinary display of human resilience and determination. Emma began the painstaking process of clawing her way out of the grave. Her fingers scraped against the dirt and rocks, causing significant injury to her hands, but she persevered through the excruciating pain. Each movement was a battle against not just the physical constraints of her burial, but also against time itself, as her oxygen supply gradually depleted in the confined space. The physical toll of her escape attempt was severe and relentless. Her hands became raw and bloodied from continuous contact with rocks and debris. Her breathing grew increasingly laboured in the confined space, and every muscle in her body screamed in protest with each movement. Yet throughout this ordeal, Emma maintained her focus by thinking about her family and the life she wasn't ready to leave behind. This emotional connection to her loved ones served as a powerful motivator, pushing her beyond what seemed like insurmountable physical limitations. After what felt like an eternity of digging, Emma noticed a subtle change in the air quality. A small gap had formed in the earth above her. This minor breakthrough, though seemingly insignificant, provided the crucial encouragement she needed for one final push toward freedom. With her remaining strength, she broke through the surface, emerging from what was intended to be her grave into the open air, gasping and trembling, but very much alive. However, Emma's ordeal wasn't over upon reaching the surface. Disoriented, weakened, and alone in an unfamiliar location, she still faced the daunting challenge of finding help. Despite her exhaustion and injuries, she forced herself to keep moving through the wilderness. Hours passed as she stumbled through unfamiliar terrain, every step painful and challenging, until she finally discovered a road where she managed to flag down a passing motorist. The driver, shocked by her appearance, bloodied, bruised, and barely recognizable, immediately contacted emergency services. When police arrived at the scene, they found Emma by the roadside, physically depleted, but with determination still burning in her eyes. She was rushed to the hospital where medical professionals worked tirelessly to treat her injuries and begin the process of recovery. The subsequent police investigation revealed disturbing details about the incident. The perpetrator was identified as a predator who had meticulously planned the attack over several months. carefully selecting his target and location. However, what he hadn't accounted for was Emma's extraordinary will to survive. Her refusal to surrender to fear and her ability to maintain composure in the face of death ultimately proved stronger than his carefully laid plans. Emma's story transcends mere physical survival. It demonstrates the remarkable capacity of the human spirit to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Her experience shows that in moments of extreme crisis, people can access reserves of strength they never knew they possessed. The combination of quick thinking, physical endurance, and unwavering determination allowed her to defeat death itself, turning what was meant to be her grave into a testament to human resilience. The aftermath of Emma's survival serves as a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit. Despite the severe trauma she endured, both physical and psychological, she emerged not just as a survivor, but as someone who actively fought for her life. Her story reminds us that even in our darkest moments, hope and determination can light the way forward, and that the human will to live can overcome even the most horrific circumstances. This extraordinary tale of survival highlights how the human spirit can triumph over the most terrifying situations. Emma's refusal to accept her fate, her ability to stay calm under extreme pressure, and her determination to live despite overwhelming odds make her story not just one of survival, but of the incredible power of human will. Her experience stands as a remarkable example of how the strength of the human spirit can prevail even when faced with the unthinkable, and serves as an inspiration to others facing their own battles against seemingly impossible odds.